What's going on, everyone? I am just a typical, average American here today to react and learn about European geography, which I'll admit might sound kind of weird, for a grown man to be learning about this for the first time, but I gotta tell you, here in the United States, we really aren't taught most of this stuff in school. So today, I really want to check out this video here that's going to explain all the different areas of Europe. So let's take a look.
Europe is the second smallest continent in the world, located entirely in the northern hemisphere and mostly in the eastern hemisphere.
Right.
This continent is not surrounded by water in all directions like some of the other continents.
Sure.
It actually borders on land with the continent of Asia.
I will say, to our credit, most of us here do know this stuff, at least, like the absolute basic stuff, like the oceans and like where Europe is on the world map. We at least know that.
However, there are bodies of water surrounding Europe: the Arctic Ocean in the north,
Right.
the Atlantic Ocean to the west, and the Mediterranean Sea to the south, and the Black Sea to the southeast.
Okay, this is the first time in the video where it's finally getting to like, I should probably know that. Like, I've heard of the Mediterranean Sea and the Black Sea. I've heard those names before. But I really had no idea where that was. So this is good already. These are like bodies of water that, everyone should probably know about.
It is believed that the word Europe came from Europa, the name of one of Zeus's wives in Greek mythology.
Oh, okay.
Some of the world's greatest empires came straight out of Europe: the Roman
Yes.
Empire, the British and Spanish empires,
Yes.
and the Russian empires.
I would say from what I remember growing up in the United States, like in history class, we talked probably, if we did talk about any European history, we probably mostly touched on the Roman Empire and some of the British Empire. Nothing really about the Spanish or the Russian Empire that I remember at all. But yeah, some of these are like obviously such momentous, huge parts of history that even here in the US, I do remember learning a little bit about like Rome and the British Empire.
There are 51 countries in Europe and 6
Wow.
geographic regions:
Oh,
Central Europe, Eastern Europe, Northern Europe, Southern Europe, Southeastern Europe, and
What?
Western Europe.
wait, what? Oh, I had no idea that Europe was divided into what are we calling these? Regions? Like Eastern Europe, Western Europe? Do Europeans refer like to different areas or regions of Europe like this? Like Southern Europe? I've never heard it talked about like that before. I did not know that. Okay.
Let's look at the countries within each region. Let's begin with Central Europe.
Okay.
The climate in this area typically features warm summers and cool winters. The white-tailed
Okay.
eagle, the long-eared bat, and the European wildcat are found
What?
in this part of Europe.
What? This is kind of cool. I mean, this is mostly I'm here for the geography lesson, but you guys got like these weird species of eagles and long-eared bat and a wildcat. All right, that's cool.
Let's look at the countries found within Central Europe. Austria, known for its mountain railways and trains, and it is considered to be landlocked, which means that it is a country that does not have access to an ocean because it is entirely surrounded by land.
Okay. This video is really, I actually appreciate how this is really bringing it like very basic. I think that's what I need. Um, they're even going over like definitions of landlocked. I haven't heard that word in like 20 years.
Land. Croatia, the Czech Republic, Germany, a popular travel destination in Europe where you can visit the Neuschwanstein Castle, Hungary, and Liechtenstein, another landlocked country located between Austria and Switzerland.
This is also good because I think this is true for so many other Americans out there. Like, we have heard a lot of these names. I've heard of the Czech Republic. I've heard of Liechtenstein and Croatia. But I just have no idea, like in my mind, where those are on the map. So this is cool, actually, like very plainly drawn out. I can see where everything is because I've heard of a lot of these places.
In fact, Liechtenstein is double landlocked because its surrounding countries are also landlocked.
Okay.
Then we have Poland, Slovakia, Slovenia, and Switzerland, a country where 60% of the area is mountainous and features many of the highest mountains in Europe.
Cool.
In this part of Europe, the Germanic and Slavic languages are spoken. So you can hear German, Croatian, Polish, Slavic,
Oh.
and Czech in this region.
Is that our like is that something in Europe with the regions like there's some overlap of languages? Cuz that's fascinating to me thinking about how in Europe you have all these totally different places, different cultures, different languages, all of you living so close together. Like you have to understand here in the United States, like everybody here speaks English basically. And if who are we next to? Like as far as countries, like Canada, who speaks mostly English, Mexico, which, is Spanish, but so that kind of has some overlap with the US to be fair, but it's pretty simple, I would say, here in the United States as far as culture and language. It's all pretty similar. So that's why I think we have a tough time relating to like all the in Europe, like 51 different cultures all in the same continent, like we're all getting along or for the most part, you know? So that's just really cool to think about how it's just so different.
The countries within Eastern Europe are Armenia, which is actually located in the continent of Asia, Azerbaijan, Belarus, Georgia, Kazakhstan, Moldova, and Russia, which is
Russia? That's not Europe.
the largest country in the world.
What? You can't. This is supposed to be Eastern Europe or what?
Russia is also home to the largest city in Europe, which is Moscow.
Russia is confusing for us. I don't ever remember getting taught what continent Russia is in, or like if it's European or Asian, because it doesn't really feel like either. But I would have thought it's Asia.
Finally, in this region, we find Turkey and the Ukraine, Russia, Kazakhstan, Azerbaijan, Georgia, and Turkey are transcontinental countries, which means they are part of different continents.
Oh.
In this case, they are both in Europe and Asia.
Oh.
The Slavic languages are the most commonly spoken languages in Eastern Europe, where you can hear Russian and Ukrainian.
Okay.
However, you can also hear Armenian, Arabic, and Turkish in this region.
Cool. Why
In
it's just unbelievable. Like all the different languages, it's amazing.
Northern Europe, we find a subarctic climate, similar to the climate in western Alaska and in the northern parts of the USA. Winters are long, cold, and harsh, and summers are short and cool.
Yeah, this is like Northern Europe. This is like Scandinavia, right? Like that's another term we hear. These countries, these are like or Nordic countries, And they're known for being very, very cold, I believe.
Animals in this region include elk, reindeer, owls, brown bears, and polar bears.
Oh my God. This is like, this is, as far as like wildlife, the Northern Europe is kind of crazy. Reindeer? Polar bears? Walruses?
Walrus, and these spectacular puffins.
Puffins?
Let's look at the countries within this region. Denmark, Norway, and Sweden, which are also known to be the Scandinavian countries.
Right.
Estonia, Finland, Iceland, Latvia, and Lithuania.
Oh.
The United Kingdom is also considered to be part of Northern Europe.
Oh.
This is a popular place for tourists where you can visit Big Ben and the Buckingham Palace in the capital city of London.
Yeah, like, to be totally honest, when Americans think about traveling to Europe, like, oh, I'm going to go to Europe. I'm going to travel there. What? A lot of Americans really mean London. Or like, like, we really mean like just a few places, even though we're saying Europe. We just mean the UK, Germany, France. Like, I feel like that's 99% of what we mean when we say, oh yeah, that Europe, yeah. Like, and then there's all these other countries and places and cultures that we just don't know anything about.
The Germanic languages are spoken in Northern Europe, including Danish, Dutch, English, and Swedish.
Okay.
Next, let's move down to Southern Europe, where the winters are rainy and the summers are hot and dry.
Huh.
In this
okay.
region, you can find badgers and owls and a variety of fish.
Okay.
In Southern Europe, we find Albania, Andorra, which is a landlocked country found within France and Spain.
Andorra? Is that the small? That's like the smallest country I've ever seen. You can barely see it. That's interesting.
France, which is the most popular travel destination in Europe.
Right.
Here, you can find the Eiffel Tower in Paris, the capital city of France.
Yep.
Then we have Greece, home to the Acropolis.
Funny enough, this is like an area. There's a couple areas of Europe that like Americans kind of know a little bit of. I mean, like, when I say no, I mean like France, where it's like, oh, Paris. Yeah. You speak French. Eiffel Tower. Yeah. Italy. Yeah. Old buildings. Yes. Okay. Like, that's basically how we think about it.
Italy, another popular tourist attraction, where the famous Leaning Tower of Pisa can be found.
Right.
You can also visit the Colosseum in Rome,
Right.
Malta, Monaco, San Marino, and another landlocked country found within the country of Italy.
Oh.
Spain, a popular place for tourists, where you can visit the Alhambra, the famous palace and fortress in Granada.
I feel like Spain is very popular. I have to admit, I don't know anything about it at all.
Spain is also where you can practice flamenco dancing.
Okay.
And finally, in this region, the Vatican
All right.
City, which is the smallest country not only in Europe, but in the entire world. It is located
right.
in the center of Rome, the capital city in Italy.
What? This is a city within a city within a country? What? Am I under? Huh? Vatican City is a country? Am I understanding this correctly?
And it is the headquarters of the Roman Catholic Church and also the home of the Pope.
The Pope, right.
Isn't that fascinating? A country
Yeah, the Pope's American now. Go figure.
within a city. So, with Russia being the largest and the Vatican City being the smallest, Europe is home to both the biggest and tiniest countries in the world.
That is
Wow.
interesting. Yeah.
In this region, the Romance or Romanic languages are most commonly spoken, including French, Italian, and Spanish.
I feel like this is a big area of Europe where a lot of Americans vacation to. Like this. So now I understand, I think we mostly focus on like Southern Europe, Northern Europe, the UK, Norway, and that's a popular one. Where's Germany? That's like central? And I guess, yeah, like I said, it's just funny how we think about Europe. Like, we only think about a couple of places, even though there's so much more to it.
But you can also hear other languages like Greek and Albanian. Moving on to the southeastern countries of Europe, we have Bosnia and Herzegovina,
Oh.
Bulgaria, Cyprus, Kosovo,
Oh.
Macedonia, Montenegro, Romania, and Serbia.
I would have to study this map for like hours, and I probably should. This is the best example of like, I've heard these names before. I had no idea this is where they were in Europe, so this is good.
The climate in this area is very hot and dry in the summer and mild and wet in the winter.
Okay.
Wildlife in this area includes bears, wolves, wild pigs, and otters.
What?
The Slavic languages are spoken in this region of Europe as well, including Bulgarian, Bosnian, and Serbian.
Cool.
And finally, over in the region of Western Europe, we can travel to Belgium, Ireland, Luxembourg, the Netherlands, and Portugal.
Okay.
Living in this area,
What? Why are these like? Why isn't Spain part of this, or France, or why are these the Western European? Is this how Europeans actually divide all this up? Because, like, the Netherlands is more east than Spain, but it's a Western European country. You know what I mean?
you can expect cool summers and cool winters. And don't be surprised if you run into a fox. This is also the region home to the lynx and jackal.
What?
In this region, you can find the Romanic languages of Portuguese and French, as well as their Germanic languages of Dutch, German, and English.
Cool.
Also,
English.
you can hear the
English. I'm going. I'm there. Perfect.
Celtic language spoken in some of parts of Ireland, also called Gaelic.
Oh.
Isn't Europe amazing?
Yeah.
Did you know that there are more tourists visiting Europe than there are tourists visiting all other 6 continents combined?
That is interesting, actually. Like, that's actually interesting. Like, Europe is objectively like an amazing place, and seems to me it's like the biggest concentration of all these amazing different cultures and places. There's nowhere in the world like Europe.
Wow. Which region do you want to visit? Is there a country that caught your
Okay, so I think we're done. We're just rambling now. That was really cool, and I feel like this is the kind of thing they should be teaching us here in the U.S. like when we're kids in school. Instead, we like spend most of our time learning about American geography and history, and there's bits and pieces of this that I've heard, but overall, for me to be like an adult man, like, and 90% of this I didn't even know. That's kind of embarrassing for us, but I'm glad to finally learn about this and have a much better idea of where all the European countries are and how they're divided, and a little about the language and the culture. And this was good. This was like really overdue. So anyway, if you enjoyed this, feel free to give this video a like or leave a comment with your thoughts on this European geography lesson. And if you're interested in more videos like this, feel free to subscribe for more. And until then, thanks for watching, and see you next time.